fantasy book readers do not play. Believe it or not, these next two adaptations are about serial killers. The vibes are devastating and completely heartbreaking, which I'm obviously so obsessed with. So these next five are a big win for annoying people. Hi all, it's me, Allison. Welcome back to my channel. I don't know about you, but recently I have been completely overwhelmed with the book to screen adaptation announcements recently. Every time I get on social media, I feel like another author is announcing that their book or series is getting a movie, a TV series, something of the sort. No one tells a story better than a renowned author, and there's nothing that I love more than to see all of my favorite books being brought to life on the TV screen. But it's getting, quite frankly, overwhelming. So today I want to break down all of the bookish news and what books you will be seeing on the big screen. So let's buckle up, because there's a lot. Okay, so this first series I feel like is one of the most anticipated book to screen adaptations to date, and that's going to be the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy. This is a 4-book interconnected standalone series about a group of guys who play for the hockey team at Briar U. The first book in the series, The Deal, I feel like is one of the most popular, if not the most popular, hockey romance book to date. I feel like this book low-key sparked the book talk movement on TikTok, and every book girly does know the name Garrett Graham. So it makes total sense that they would want to adapt this into a TV series. It is one of the most popular series on book talk, plus just with the rising popularity of hockey romances in general, I feel like this is kind of like a slam dunk for Amazon Studios. I'm obviously over the moon with this adaptation. The Deal is actually one of my favorite books of all time. It is the first book I read every single year. January 1, The Deal is in my hand. I'm celebrating with Garrett Graham on his birthday. So I am obviously very excited to see this play out. So this show will be on Amazon Prime, which I feel like is kind of the hub for book to screen adaptations recently. They're really putting in the work. They also just announced the casting for the main characters that are going to be in this series, and it did receive a little bit of backlash just due to like these actors not fitting the description of these characters to a T. But to me, if Garrett and Hannah are perfect, then I have no issue. And it turns out that they did cast Hannah and Garrett perfectly, so I'm not worried in the slightest. I also feel like this plot is pretty straightforward. Like there's not much that you can change or alter. So I feel like it's going to be a pretty good book to TV transition. And I'm so excited. Like you will see me there on this couch release day. This next one is also a very popular book talk series, and that's going to go ahead and be Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This will also be produced by Amazon Studios, and it will be a TV series. Now, I will say I am a little scared for this adaptation just because like when you're dealing with like dragons in fantasy, there is a fine line of looking like really cool and looking really cheap. But I do think that we need more romantasy representation in the film space. So I am excited to see how this goes, but this will be a series in which like if the cast is not absolutely perfect, it will crash and burn. Though romantasy book readers do not play when it comes to Zayden Ryerson. It would behoove Amazon Studios to take notes for what the girls are saying as far as casting goes, because if this casting goes bad, it's over. But as far as the content goes, I feel like this show would be really good for all audiences, not just book talk girlies. I think this show would be really fun for Game of Thrones lovers, Divergent lovers, anybody who grew up in that dystopian era. I feel like this show would be really good for those types of audiences as well as the book talk community. I just hope that the CGI isn't completely heinous, because if those dragons don't look completely realistic, like it is going to be horrible backlash for Amazon. Needless to say, I am excited to see this come into fruition. I am just a little scared about the process of getting there. So these next five are a big win for annoying people, Emily Henry lovers. All of Emily Henry's books are being adapted into some sort of movie or TV series except for one of her books. She also dropped every single one of these announcements back to back, so it was really like hit for hit for hit for me. But the one that we have the most information about is People We Meet on Vacation, which has already been filmed, and they already have dropped a teaser for this one. This movie is starring Tom Blythe, who is literally young Snow himself, and Emily Bader, who is My Lady Jane. This will be a movie featured on Netflix, and it'll come out January 6, 2026. So we basically have half a year until we actually get to see it. But they did drop the teaser trailer, and it literally sent shivers down my freaking spine. I am really excited to see this movie. It is actually one of my favorite Emily Henry books to date, but I am a little concerned as to why they're not releasing it in the summer. Like, it feels more like a summer vibe. But needless to say, I will be sat in January. Speaking of January, the next book that will be adapted into a movie is Beach Read by Emily Henry as well, which will send me into a full-on spiral the moment that this trailer drops. As her first novel, as well as one of her most popular, the hype for this movie will be through the roof. This book was a 5-star read, so I'm hoping for a 5-star movie. There are also rumors that Paul Mescal will be playing August in this movie, which would just be perfect and stunning and bone-chilling. But due to my research, I haven't been able to find where we'll be able to see this movie. I'm not sure where it's going to stream or if it's going to be in the actual theater. It's really unclear at this time, but nonetheless, I will be sat wherever it will be streamed. Another Emily Henry movie that's being adapted is Book Lovers. Now, Book Lovers to me is definitely her weakest book. It's definitely not my favorite, but I do think that the plot is very unique and fun for a cute little rom-com-y movie. Once again, it's unclear of where this movie is going to stream, but I feel like this might be the least hyped out of all of the Emily Henry movie news, just because I feel like I haven't seen a single fan cast or anything for this movie specifically, and the other ones do. But I feel like once we start getting more news on it, then all of the hype will kind of build back up. Next is Emily Henry's most rom-com-y release, I would say, and that's Funny Story. This is a tale of two people whose exes got together, thus thrusting them together in a roommate situation. Obviously, this is the recipe for some tension, a little bit of awkwardness, but also finding love where you are type situation. There are also fan casts that Dylan O'Brien will play Miles in this movie, which is absurdly accurate to the book. We also don't have too much news on this movie specifically, but I do feel like it is going to be really hyped up. And lastly, my favorite Emily Henry book is getting a TV series on Netflix, Happy Place. If any of her books deserve a series, I feel like this is the one that deserves it the most. This is a story that goes back and forth between the past and the present, so I feel like a lot of those scenes can get really fleshed out throughout a series of episodes. And while the setting of this book is like summery and fun, the vibes are devastating and completely heartbreaking, which I'm obviously so obsessed with. I am so excited to see how this plays out, and we don't have to worry about Netflix canceling the show because I have a feeling this is just going to be a limited series anyway, so we'll get the full story and not have to worry about Netflix canceling, so yay. Keeping with the summer vibes, one of Tessa Bailey's best books of all time is also being adapted into a movie, and that is It Happened One Summer. So this is the first book that I've ever read by Tessa Bailey, and let me tell you, I am completely obsessed. It is one of the best books of all time, and it is so perfect for the summertime. Not only did I fly across the country to meet Tessa Bailey in the location in which this book is set, but I also have read this book multiple times throughout the years. The thing about Tessa Bailey's books is that all of them are written like a really fun rom-com, so I'm glad that she's being acknowledged for her talents and is able to share that talent with people across the world via television. This will be one of the best rom-com movies of all time, mark my words, and it has a potential to have a sequel. A tale of magic, war, and unwavering love is coming to a screen near you. Popular book talk book Divine Rivals is also getting a movie, and I am fully prepared to sob my eyes out the moment this movie is on my screen. From the moment I picked up that book, I knew it was a story worth telling, not only in literature, but also on the screen. And to see Roman Kit in all of his glory is going to rock my core. Not only that, the love story in this book is just so painfully pure and wholesome. With the setting of such a war-torn country, it is devastatingly beautiful, and I cannot wait to watch it on my screen. Believe it or not, these next two adaptations are about serial killers who kill bad guys, so that actually makes them the good guys. The first one that I'm really excited about is Butcher and Blackbird, which is a dark romantic comedy. Dark in the sense that they're both serial killers who also kill people, but rom-com-y in every other sense of the word. This one is probably one of my most anticipated adaptations just because I feel like the concept is so fun. It's literally two serial killers who meet up every year to do a competition in which they kill another bad guy. It's just so fun and unique, and I feel like when I was reading the book, there were moments where I genuinely laughed out loud, and so I feel like it's going to be a really fun story to watch and unfold. Kind of on the same track, the next series that we're going to get is the Mind F series, which is very similar to Butcher and Blackbird, in which she is a serial killer that kills bad guys, but in this one, she falls in love with the FBI agent who is hunting down her serial killer alter ego, which is sweet. So like the whole time he's searching for this serial killer and she's literally right there in his home constantly. He's literally dating her. It's so good. So clearly the setup is for delicious tension, drama, secrets, and swoony love. But hopefully we do get a name change, respectfully. The next one is a big win for Allie Hazelwood fans. The Love Hypothesis is getting a movie. As her first book ever, she kind of took the world by storm and introduced all of us to the world of romances centered around women in STEM. Starting out as a Star Wars fan fiction, this book catapulted Allie's career, and I'm so excited that she's going to be getting a movie. It honestly just has the perfect setup for a swoomy romantic comedy. Now, this isn't my favorite of Allie's books, but I do see how it's going to be a really fun movie to watch. I just have one request. Can we not cast Adam Driver as Mr. Adam Carlson in this movie? I just feel like that was the dream when we wrote this book, but maybe we need to let that dream go. Next is a series that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, but I've enjoyed all of the books so far, and that is Assistant to the Villain. Assistant to the Villain is a quirky fantasy romance that is just the perfect grumpy sunshine story. This will also be a TV series, which makes a lot of sense considering this is supposed to be a trilogy book series as well. I feel like it's difficult to make a serious fantasy book also a comedy, but this book is the perfect blend of all of it, so I have no doubt that the show will be entertaining. And I heard some rumors that it might be set up like The Office, where it's kind of like fast zooms and like people looking at the camera and things like that, which that book kind of has that vibe. So I think that would be really hilarious if they go that route. As an Elsie Silver fan, this next announcement is very exciting to me. The Rose Hill series is also getting a TV series. This is a 4-book interconnected standalone series centered around single dads in the small town of Rose Hill. Although we only have 3 of the 4 books out right now, I can confidently say that this was a good move for Amazon Studios. We all love the Cowboy Rancher life series with a whole lot of romance, but now you throw in the single dad aspect, it's literally the recipe for success. And I hope that if this goes well, they also feel the need to also produce the Chestnut Springs series into a TV show. That would be lovely, Amazon. Now this next one will make me very emotional. This is one of my favorite series of all times, and kind of going along the lines of the Cowboy Rancher life TV series situation, we have The Edens by Devney Perry. Now this first book, Indigo Ridge, is genuinely top 5 books for me. It's so good, and I cannot believe we're going to be getting a series on CBS. Real-time TV, folks. It's crazy. I'm so happy for Devney, and I feel like this is a series that a lot of people could enjoy. It's kind of like Yellowstone vibes. There's a lot of drama with an undercurrent of crime, obviously a lot of romance. So it is the recipe for such a good show, and I cannot believe that she got it. Next, we have another Amazon movie and also another Devney Perry movie, and that's going to be Shield of Sparrows. This one actually came as a shock because she announced this movie the day that this book was released, which was crazy talk. I'll say it once again, we do need a lot of romantasy representation in film, and I feel like this is a really good one that will captivate not just like the book girlies. I feel like this one is good for all audiences. Also, this just has a lot of like plot twists and turns within the book that I feel like will be so fun to watch on screen. This is a very plot driven book, so I feel like it is going to be a really good movie with a lot of depth. I'm just so happy for Devney also. That's 2 series of hers that are being adapted for the screen, which is just crazy. Another romantasy movie that's making its way to Netflix is going to go ahead and be Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Now, I will say when I read this book, I was really confused. I feel like there's a lot of plot that is just can get confusing in your brain. So I feel like it being on the screen would be way easier to comprehend what's going on. So I am excited to see how they're going to do this. I will say I am a little surprised that this is going to be a movie and not a series, because that book is over 600 pages. There is just a lot of like plot and plot points that I think would be better if it was like spread out over episodes rather than cramming it into one movie. But nonetheless, I think it'll still be a good adaptation, and I'm excited to see how it comes out. I'll be honest, I was shocked to hear about this next one becoming a TV show, and that is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Not that I don't think that this will be a good show by any means. I just feel like the plot is pretty basic and there's not a lot of originality with it. But then again, that's sometimes what we want to watch when we're watching TV. It's an easy story with a lot of romance, so I feel like it'll be suited for a really big audience, which is nice. This will also be released on Amazon. Like I said, they've become the hub for book adaptation, so it's exciting to see them working so hard to give us what we want. To me, I feel like this will be a really good series for those who like Ginny and Georgia. It's got that small town feel, but also it has like that undercurrent of like crime. So yeah, I think this will be a really fun TV show to watch. But once again, I'm just like a little confused as to why it's being adapted. I didn't really love this book personally, but I will watch the show. Why not? Amazon once again is making a show that is very similar to The Summer I Turned Pretty, and it's going to be Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Now, I'll be honest, I hated this book. It felt like a ripoff of Love and Other Words, and it had a plot device at the end that just really ruined the entire book for me. But I will say I can see how this will make a good TV show. The Summer Lake vibes, but also like discovering your first love in childhood and then rediscovering that love as an adult definitely has its appeal in TV. So I feel like that's why the show might be really popular. I am curious to see how this show will play out, and hopefully the show is better than the book, so respectfully. And lastly is a book that I haven't read yet, but I was gifted it for my birthday. So it is on my TBR, and that's going to be You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hoggle. From the description of this, it really does set up as a really fun rom-com. Naomi and Nicholas are engaged, and they are utterly sick of each other, but both of them refuse to call off the wedding because the one that does have to pay the non-refundable wedding bill. So cue the pranks and the sabotage and the emotional warfare. I mean, it is just going to be so good. I have a feeling that this is going to be a really fun movie. Also, I'll be reading the book soon, so hopefully that it's really good as well. I definitely have to read it before this movie gets in the works so that I am prepared. So yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so that's a wrap on our book to screen chat. I have a lot of high hopes for a lot of these adaptations. And let's be honest, we all feel a little superior when we can say, yeah, I read the book first. Let me know down in the comments what adaptation you're looking forward to the most, and maybe if I missed any, let me know any news that you've heard as well. I would love to hear. Be sure to check out my social media links down below. There's Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads, my podcast. So check all of those out if you don't mind. And for now, bye guys.